Mrs. April Schiff was kind enough to jump at the opportunity to speak at the Republican Liberty Caucus of Tampa Bay on short notice. She is the Americans for Prosperity the Americans for Prosperity Regional Field Director. All right. And April, yeah, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me today. I'm glad I could be here. This is a little bit of a different perspective, being up so tall. And I walk around a lot, so I have to be careful I don't fall off the platform. Let me just give you a little brief introduction of myself. I've been in Tampa almost all my life, and I've been a consultant for the last just about 20 years, doing nothing but Republican campaigns. We've been very successful all over the state of Florida with local races. We've participated in some federal races, but most of them have been local and state races. And during that period of time, I had the privilege of working with the state director and the state grassroots director, who are now with Americans for Prosperity, and that is Slade O'Brien and Joyce Malone. And over the last couple of years, AFP became one of my clients, and I was doing special projects for them. And early this summer, they came to me and asked me would I open an office for them in Hillsborough County and go to work for them. And I was very reluctant, having worked for myself for nearly 20 years, and AFP being a very big corporation, and that's a major lifestyle change for me. But once they told me what they were doing, I got very excited and decided that it would be fun to be in on the ground floor of a movement that's happening all over the United States of America. And so I accepted the position. I've been with AFP now since the middle of July. We opened an office in Hillsborough County the middle of August, and it's thriving. We have 10 offices across the state of Florida right now, and we'll have 13 open by January 1st. Hopefully January 1st, that's our goal. But Americans for Prosperity is a national nonprofit that focuses exclusively on economic issues. We don't deal with social issues, we don't deal with anything but economic issues. And it's an education and a motivation of grassroots activists. And what happened during the 2012 election cycle, President Obama frequently referred to Americans for Prosperity in many of his speeches. He wasn't kind, but the one thing that he did say was he said that Americans for Prosperity is the left's biggest problem. And I'm quite frankly happy to be part of the biggest problem that the left has. And I hope that a lot of other people want to join in that effort as well. So what we've done after the 2012 cycle, amid all of our losses and our heartbreak that a lot of people were suffering from, a group of conservative organizations actually sat down around the table together. There were between 6 and 10, I'm not sure the exact number. They actually sat down together, which conservative organizations never sit down at the same table and talk. And they said, we understand that if we don't start working together, we are never going to win another national election. So that in and of itself was a major milestone, that they're all speaking to each other and agreeing to work together. So they created an umbrella organization where they have acquired massive databases, massive technology, and Americans for Prosperity has taken the lead on the grassroots side. We now have a grassroots structure forming in 38 states around the country. Florida is at the forefront. We're moving faster than any of them for some crazy reason. I think it's our director who just is really energetic and moves us all at a rapid pace. But our staff is moving out quickly. And what we've done is we have come up with a very strong plan based solely on the economy that is going to bring in AFP activists who will join us as activists, who will work with us to hold our legislators' feet to the fire and to help us get out the vote in certain elections, to concentrate on getting more conservatives elected, but bigger and better to make sure that our economy turns around and gets better. So what we did in Florida, we established what we called our 5 for Florida program, and I have a bunch of handouts over there. This one is our 5 for Florida. Can you grab those and just pass them around the table so everybody gets one? We have 5 economic standards, and they are reform taxes and end corporate welfare, don't make financial promises taxpayers can't keep, be stewards of good, transparent government, empower kids with the best education possible, and free entrepreneurs to pursue the American dream. We're strong proponents of free markets and accountability. So what we did, we've asked every person that we meet to sign these pledges to endorse our Fight for Florida. We've asked every elected official in the State House and the State Senate to sign these pledges. And we asked every candidate to sign it as well. Candidates who sign our pledge, we let all the constituents in their district know that they support our economic values. At the end of the 2013 legislative session, we issued a legislative scorecard. And the legislative scorecard grades every House and Senate member from an A to an F based on how they voted on our key issues that were all based on our Fight for Florida programs. And what we did was we told the legislators that we needed them to support our economic issues. If they did, we'd let their constituents know. And if they didn't, we'd let their constituents know. Well, last Tuesday, there are 3 senators in this scorecard. One has an F and 2 have Ds. Last Tuesday, we released mail pieces into their districts telling them that they voted against strong economic policies for their constituents. And we also went up on TV with a great deal of, you might say, attack ads on these senators, letting their constituents know that they did not support our economic policies. A lot of people aren't happy about what we're doing. We've received a lot of backlash, but we've also received a lot of support because of it. And the reason we're doing it, there's one reason only. We told them if they didn't support our economic issues, we'd let their constituents know, and that's what we're doing. And we want the rest of the House and Senate members to understand that we're quite serious about these economic issues. So we're going to continue to work through that and work on it. As part of that effort, we're establishing in each legislative district across the state of Florida a group of citizens that will motivate and activate when we send out action alerts based on upcoming legislation. Some of you, Paul went with us. Last year we went to Tallahassee. We took 450 activists to Tallahassee for a day and a half. This year it's going to be for 2 days. It'll be the 1st of March. It'll be for opening day of the session. We plan to take probably that many as well this time, but we had appointments with our legislators where we sent citizens from their districts in to talk to them about supporting our economic issues. We also work on federal issues. Our 2 main issues this summer have been Obamacare. We just completed a round of state town hall meetings on Obamacare in 10 different locations. We have an ongoing petition drive on Obamacare that we are asking citizens to sign these petitions. They're actually in the box. I did hide them from you over there, sorry. Under Obamacare, there have been exemptions and pushbacks for every organization, for unions, for corporations, for elected officials, for certain staff members, for certain districts, but there has not been, the only thing that has not been exempted is the individual mandate, and that's the individual mandate on citizens. So we're asking people to sign these cards, and we hope to have 50 to 60,000 of those signed only in Florida, where we can tell them the individuals want to be exempted as well. Our other initiative is on spending, and we've been walking door to door with a spending initiative where we're surveying people. And what we're doing in our door-to-door walks, we are issuing surveys, we're doing voter registration. When we get closer to elections, we'll be doing get out the vote programs. But we're getting very active. We are right now hiring students and young people in Hillsborough County and Pinellas County to walk neighborhoods. We're paying these people $10 an hour to walk up to 20 hours a week. 4 to 5 times a week, we're going to be out walking neighborhoods, and we are going to do voter registration and get out the vote programs. So we're very excited that we have a strong plan, a motivated grassroots team that is growing. We invite you all to join us. Our technology is just amazing to me, having seen thousands and thousands of walk lists in my time. We're walking with iPads. The survey information, as they answer the surveys, is being sent back to our main database. So we know what they say, we contact them again, we're building relationships with people, and we really are working toward a solid change in the economy and the face of this nation. So I invite all of you to join us at any time. And I'll take any questions anybody might have.
Who are the 3 senators that you guys Since about
Senator Nancy Diedrich, Greg Evers, and Charlie Dean.
Jack LaValla.
Got a D.
Pardon me?
He got a D.
LaValla got a D.
Still passing.
We're hoping he'll wake up. Well, you know, I don't know if I should say this. There's a team of LaValla senators that do work with him very closely on his issues and kind of follow along. And 3 of those we just targeted, okay? So we're somebody above my pay grade is making those decisions, but we're working it. We're working on it. We're trying to get there. Yes.
Who's your highest scoring senator?
We only had 1 A+ senator in the state of Florida, and that is Jeff Brandes. We're proud of him.
Last one speaker.
Was he? Yeah. Yeah. He's my senator too. I'm very happy about that. Yes, Paul.
I know it says exempt me. A lot of people here kind of believe in the nullify, which means you don't ask to be exempted. You tell them I am exempt because the 10th Amendment tells me that that we have that power to exempt ourselves. Any response to that?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. We're encouraging people when the navigators knock on your door, tell them no, thank you. We are not going to participate. This is really just to make a statement in mass that we have this many.
But that would actually be a Tallahassee thing that we would, similar to the way that Washington and Colorado have been successful in nullifying the marijuana legislation to do an Obamacare nullification at Florida State legislature.
The Medicare expansion issue is going to come up in the next legislative session, and we're going to fight that just as hard as we fought it the last time. So I totally agree with you. Yes, Karina.
Well, do you want to tell them where the offices are that will be in the Tampa Bay area open?
Well, we do have an office in Hillsborough right now, which is in South Tampa. It's easy access from Pasco, Pinellas, and the east side, Polk County. We will be opening an office in Pinellas in January. And I don't know exactly where the rest of them are, but we will have 13 open across the state. But we will be in Pinellas County to start walking in a certain congressional district. Yes.
I'm kind of curious, what kind of outreach do you have to people who are just starting, trying to run for office? Somebody who might agree with your principles here. What would you want to do on their behalf?
I would encourage them to sign our Fight for Florida programs, particularly their state or local candidate. Because we're a 501c3 and a 501c4, we are prohibited from working with campaigns and candidates and parties during a certain length of time out from the election, which is why we are establishing our structure so that we don't get in any trouble by talking to the Republican Party, the Republican clubs when we get close to that. And you can thank McCain-Feingold for that.
Gotcha.
But we cannot organize or work with any campaigns. So.
Well, it makes sense now where you're putting out a scorecard with everybody on it. So
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly why. We are nonpartisan.
Okay.
Completely. Yes.
When I'm reading your form here, it says eliminate the corporate income tax and targeted tax credits and exemptions. Why wouldn't we be eliminating personal income tax instead of corporate income tax?
Good question. I'd like to see that happen too, but what we're trying to work on realistic goals that we can set, and these are state goals. We don't have any state income
Oh, these
tax.
are all state
These
goals.
are just the state of
Florida
Florida
goals.
specific, and we don't have a state income tax, but we do
Right.
have a pretty burdensome corporate tax.
Right.
And the special, the handouts to corporations is something we fought really hard. The sports stadium, rodeo, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that over here.
Incentive that came before the House and the Senate last year, where they wanted millions of dollars to go to different racetracks and sport teams and that to help them build so that the individual owners could profit from your tax dollars. We were the only organization, grassroots organization in the room fighting that. And we fought it and we defeated it, and we're going to continue to fight it if it comes up again. I can tell you the story. There's a motocross racetrack on the east coast of Florida. The guy was fighting really, really hard to get your tax dollars to make improvements. And his story was that you know, if he didn't get these tax dollars, he was gonna have to close down his business, bankrupt him, all these people were gonna lose their jobs because he couldn't make all these improvements to keep it going. Well, we defeated the measure, and let me tell you something, today the improvements are nearly done and they're being made with his corporate dollars to invest in his own personal corporation so that he can profit from it rather than your tax dollars. So it's really important.
Locally, we have a museum like that.
Yes. Successes are always nice. We just have to keep working really, really hard on them. We need constituents to do it because it's constituent pressure on these elected officials that really does make the difference. They listen when their constituents call them. They truly do. Yes.
The last page of the legislative session. Mr. Saunders is 0 for 4. What does 0 for 4 mean?
That, I think you're looking at just one House bill.
Well,
There's a
actually,
tally.
there's a bunch of them, but what does it mean?
That
He
means
had
they
4
didn't.
chances and he blew it all, or he's...
To be quite honest with you, I don't know the answer to that. I have to go back here and read and see how the scoring went through because I did not prepare this. It was done by our policy people in Tallahassee.
Thank you for your comment.
I'll be happy to find out if you'd like to know.
What it looks like is they scored 4 votes on a particular bill, and so whether or not, I guess there's certain ones where they're not applicable, but basically the 3 votes that would be in addition to the overall bill would be certain amendments that the AFP decided to score, or EF.
Right, right. And we also gave extra credit to those who carried our bills for us. Okay, so there's certain Senate and House members who carried our bills that got extra credit. Yes.
I just want to point out that the first paragraph of the book explains what
Thank you.
N/M
Okay,
You have
you're
to
right.
read the directions first?
You have to read the book to find out what's really going on, and I apologize. I didn't memorize it. I'm too busy passing them out and recruiting people to get into the details, but I apologize for that. Yes.
Yeah, this seems like it's primarily state and legislative focused,
Yeah.
but you obviously have some sort of grassroots efforts going on as well. I was wondering if Americans for Prosperity might be helping out with this whole coming light rail initiative that is coming down Pinellas County.
We would be happy to do that. This is our state initiative, but on a district level, we have the ability to get involved and to motivate our activists for local issues. So depending on what the issue is, we get it cleared from up above, and then absolutely, yes, we can work on local economic issues. And we hope that eventually we'll have a structure in place where we can do that in cities and counties across the state of Florida and really make an effect, and to work with our activists in our different groups who have special interests that they want to work on, and to use our forces and our volunteers and our funding and all those things to help in measures like that, absolutely, as much as we can.
So at this point, this is not a national and it's not local, it's statewide, and then you can divide off from that, is that it?
It's a national organization with a state chapter.
Okay.
We
So
all
all
work-
this is state.
This is all state, yes. We've only been doing this since July. We opened our office in August. We haven't really we haven't had the opportunity to get involved in local issues yet, but we will. But it's definitely a national organization. The Florida chapter is just moving forward on the grassroots organization.
With, when the last time I heard you talk was at the Republicans meeting, and you had mentioned that AFP is not specifically targeting the District 13. Now, since
Right.
then, we now have a special election and an upcoming election
Yes.
here. What's the plans for that?
There are 17 seats in Congress necessary for the Democrats to take over the House in this upcoming midterm election. 6 of those congressional districts are in the state of Florida. We targeted those 6 districts. We started walking in Alan Grayson's district in Orlando several months ago. We're making great strides, accomplishing a lot there. Congressional District 13, obviously, the circumstances have changed there. It was not a target district. It was on a watch to see if there was a retirement. Unfortunately, what's happened with the special election coming up in March, that has motivated us to open our office in Pinellas County earlier. We'll be putting forces on the ground. We walk it door to door, and yes, we intend to participate heavily. Though we won't be working with candidates, we won't be working with parties. We will be doing major canvassing, voter registration, and get out the vote efforts. Yes.
Are you able to work with other nonpartisan organizations such as No Tax for Tracks that's opposing the light rail?
Yes. And support that as much as I possibly can. Anybody else, any other questions? If anybody wants to sign up to join AFP to get our emails, if you'll see me, I have fancy little iPad sign-ups over here, and I'll stay until you're done, so there's plenty of time, but I'd be happy to sign anybody up. If you want any additional paraphernalia that I brought along, the scorecards or the exempting petitions, I have loads of those, and I'd love to share them. The exempting petitions have on the back of them a place for a stamp to send them to Tallahassee. It's really not necessary. You can give them all back to me. I don't want people to have to pay for postage. Even if you take a bunch to a group and get them filled out, I'll take them all back. You don't have to put postage on them. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it greatly, and I look forward to working with all of you.